Alrighty, I hope you guys are ready for part 2 of the training course Investing 101, where I help you guys who are absolute beginners to learn and be able to trade in the stock market. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that beautiful intro, and I hope you guys are ready to sign up for Webull. After learning how to trade in the stock market, you could get 2 free stocks valued anywhere from $8 all the way to $1,850 with your first $100 deposit. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into the candlesticks again. Okay guys, so if you have not watched the first video on Investing 101, I'll link that in the description below. But last week we talked about how to place limit and sell orders and buy orders in the different types of orders that are available, and how to read candlesticks. As I said last week, I will be obviously doing some more practice because I know it can be very frustrating to try to learn all this stuff at once. So I will be practicing, and today we will actually be using some charts to practice. But as always, I will review from last week the candlesticks very quickly because obviously I reviewed it already in depth in the previous video. But just to give you guys a refresher, we have 2 candlesticks, either a green or a red candlestick. You'll never see any other color. It's just green and red. And then obviously both wicks. So this is going to be the candle body. This is the candle body. This is the candle wick, the candle wick, candle wick, candle wick. The candle wick on the green and red candlestick are going to signify the exact same thing. So the high or the top of the candle wick is going to be the high price of that day or whatever time period you're looking at, and that will make more sense when we dive into the chart. And then the low of the candle wick will be the low price of that time period. And then for the green candlestick, the open will be the bottom of the body, the close will be the top of the body. For the red candlestick, the open will be the top of the body and the close will be the bottom of the body, just because obviously the red candlesticks mean you lost price during that day, or the price went down during that day, and the green candlestick just basically means that you increased the price for that day. So that was a quick refresher. Let us go into the charts to help you guys get that practice, because practice makes perfect. Okay guys, so I have Apple's chart opened up right here. This is going to be the daily time frame. So each candlestick is going to represent one day. If I were going to change this to the weekly time frame, each of these candlesticks will represent 1 week. If I changed it to the hourly time frame, each of these candlesticks would represent 1 hour. So let me go ahead and do that so you guys can see the difference in the candlesticks. So this is going to be the weekly time frame candlesticks. As you guys can see, it's a bit more condensed because each candlestick is going to represent 1 week's worth of trading. So this one green candlestick represents 1 week's worth of trading. This red candlestick represents 1 week's worth of trading. That's why you could see it more condensed, and it's not really too choppy because, as I said, it's 1 week's worth of trading. So you kind of are averaging all that data into one kind of candlestick. But if we went to the hourly time frame, as you guys will see, it will be more choppy. And obviously the lower time frames you get into, the more choppier it is. And each time frame gives you some more understanding. So obviously if you're super zoomed into the minute time frame, you might gain some better knowledge or different knowledge than when you're all the way zoomed out. So a lot of people like to use the daily time frame because that encompasses everything. You're able to gain a lot of knowledge when you're looking at the daily time frame because it is zoomed out enough for you to kind of start spotting trends, but it is not extremely zoomed out. So let me show you guys the hourly time frame. So this is the hourly time frame. As you guys can see, it's a lot more choppy, a lot more candlesticks because each of these candlesticks will represent 1 hour. So you can see it's a lot more choppy, a lot less condensed. You're gonna have a lot more candlesticks. You could even kind of see there are these gaps in between the candlesticks that weren't there in the weekly or the daily. So it's a lot more choppy. But for this lesson, we are just going to focus on the daily time frame. Okay, so I have the daily time frame opened up, and every single candlestick will represent 1 day of price action. Let us pay attention to this candlestick right here. Okay, so when we're looking at this candlestick, we could see obviously it's a green candlestick, implying that for that day, because we're looking at the daily time frame, for that day we increased in price So now let us take a look at how we increased in price. Now I realize you guys can't see the price, so let me fix that real quick so that you guys can actually see the price. Okay, now hopefully you should be able to see the price and you guys can take a look at exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so now that we have the candlestick identified, let us actually start to practice on it. Now I'm just going to delete the markings that I did on the candle just so that we could actually see the price better. Okay, so since the markings are now deleted, as you guys can see when I move the mouse up and down, you're gonna be able to see the price actually highlighted in that gray bar. So that will help you understand even further. So for this green candlestick right here, you could see that we opened up at around 128.35, as you guys can see at the gray bar all the way at the end. So we opened up at 128.35. Now that was the open, because remember the green candlestick, the open is the bottom of the candle. Now the close is going to be the top of the body. So the close, if we move our mouse up, you can see that the close was around 132.03. So we went from 131.85 to 132.03, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, 128.35 to 132.03, and that was for that day. So in that day, we roughly increased about $4 from 128 to 132. Now, that was the open and the close. We only have one wick, as you guys can see. There is no low, so the low of the day was actually what we opened at. So if you don't have a wick below the open, that just means the open was also the wick. So it was just a coincidence that for that day, the open was the same as the low. Now for the high though, we do have a wick. So when we go to the high, you can see that the high was 132.68, and then it dropped down and closed at 132. So I hope that starts to make sense. Now let's do this red candlestick right here. So the red candlestick is obviously going to mean that we lost price during that day. So in that one day, we should have decreased in price. So let us see if that is correct. So we obviously opened over here at 135.95, because remember the open is going to be the top of the red candlestick. The bottom of the red candlestick's body will be the close. So we opened at 135.95. We closed, when we go all the way down to the bottom of the body, we closed at 131.9. So we roughly lost about $3 in that day. Now, the high of the day was around 136.75, while the low was all the way at 130.37. So you see, I hope that starts to make more sense. If it does not, guys, leave me a comment down below and I'll be sure to review this more and more and more. I hope you guys found this educational, and I hope you guys are finding these series to be extremely helpful. Make sure to leave me a message on exactly what you guys want me to cover next. I'm sorry if these videos are a bit more lengthy, but obviously you can't rush this educational stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Make sure to hit the subscribe, smash that like button, join my Discord, guys, and I'll see you all later.